you can sell on your own? Why should you have to pay anyone a commission to put a sign in your yard? Will you save more money, make more money if you sell it by yourself? I used to think just like you before I got into real estate, and I'm not here to say don't do it. But I realized and learned that things are not always how we think they are. So, can you sell on your own? Yes, you probably can. Will you profit more if you don't pay the commission while trying to sell your home? Maybe, maybe not. So, I will tell you a few things you need to know and why hiring a realtor might be worth investment, and possibly due to the realtor's experience and knowledge, you may end up netting more than you expected, even paying the commission. So, a few things. We know the contracts, you know the risks. You may think that reading the contract a couple times might be good enough, but do you really understand them and the complications? Are you following the laws and regulations? Are you really filtering potential buyers or letting anyone that says they are interested and want to buy to come check your property? How would you feel if you rush back home from work because of a potential buyer that in reality is not a potential buyer, but it's someone that is just curious to take a peek inside of your home? Think about the risks. As a seller, want it or not, you have some kind of feelings towards your property. And when those feelings come out, will you be able to rationally negotiate to try to get the best outcome possible? Or will those feelings get in the way and end up playing against your main goal, that is selling your property, netting you the most amount of money possible? Also, who's representing and is fighting for you when a buyer comes with an agent that understands the process, knows the contracts, and has their client's best interest in mind? Are you pricing the property correctly? Don't get me wrong, I'm gonna tell you this because this is something you have to think about. How many properties that could be considered as your competition you went to take a look at and analyze? Would you know how to properly price your property? A property that is overpriced tends to possibly exclude the buyer that will have bought it, but if it's overpriced, it exceeds the amount of the buyer search criteria, meaning your property didn't even pop up for the buyer. Let's say you priced your property at $550, but your property actually is worth $525. And there was that one buyer that was looking at properties up to $525. You missed the buyer. The market is changing every day, and the days of getting multiple offers over asking price are not flying anymore. You will see that happening still, but not as much. You might notice the changes sooner or later. And what are you using to price your property? Are you considering updates from similar properties to run your comps? Are you using the most recent data to do so? What happens when a property sits on the market after the first weekend? Then another week goes by, and another one goes by, and another one goes by. What are the chances of you getting the amount you're asking for at this point? Let's say a few weeks go by and you haven't sold it yet, and you absolutely need to sell it. A buyer will see that your property has been sitting on the market for a while, and it will mostly like to ask you for repairs, closing costs, and you'll be lucky to get full price. What happens if a buyer offers you, like, for example, $20,000 less what you're expecting? Will you disregard that offer right away, or you try to counter offer? Do you know the terms and what's gonna work in your favor to get the best deal possible? How do you deal with rejection? Because that happens. How you feel every time a buyer's agent tells you that their client is not interested? Are you receiving any feedback? Do you know why your property is not selling? Real estate is a full-time job. Will you be able to pick up your phone every time your phone rings? Will you be able to accommodate the potential buyer's request to go see the property at that time frame? How are you advertising your property? Are you doing it in an effective way? Are you disclosing everything you are required to disclose? If you're not, you can be held liable even after closing. I'm telling you this because all of the things are things you need to think about to avoid problems. You might be trying to save money, which is understandable, but it might end up costing you more. Even if you still decide to sell your property on your own, research, talk to an agent, maybe ask for a seller's net sheet so you can compare your options and research some more. There are a lot of great resources nowadays and you might end up having a successful sale. But why am I an agent telling you that you might be successful selling on your own? Because that's the truth. My job is to educate and to help people that choose me to represent them. This is my job and this is what I do every day. I work hard and I go above and beyond every single time for every single client of mine. If I'm representing you as a buyer's agent, I will work to help you get the best deal possible, aiming to save you money. If I'm representing you as a seller's agent, I will work to help you get the best deal possible, aiming to make you the most amount of money. It doesn't matter. I will always represent my clients aiming their best interest, following the law, being honest, and having their best interest in mind. But at the end of the day, you need to do what makes sense for you, what makes you comfortable, and what works for you. I hope this was helpful and that I could bring you some clarity. And as always, if you have any questions, reach out because my information is down below the video. I release one new video every week, so if you don't want to miss my other videos, don't forget to hit the subscribe button right now, and I'll see you next week.